When a customer comes to your website, they're not always ready to make a purchase decision. What do? You need to have something that's called a transitional call to action. And on this episode of Marketing Domination, we're going to show you all about what that is, how you can create one so you can start capturing leads as they come to your website. All right, so in our last episode, we talked all about the structure of your website's homepage, the 10 different sections that you need to have. And we talked a little bit about a section called a lead generator. A lead generator is going to be one of the things that you must have on your website if you want to maximize the amount of leads you are capturing on your website. The main thing that we talked about on our header section from the last episode is your header needs to pass the grunt test, which means answering these 3 questions. What do you do? How do you make my life better? And what do I need to do to buy it or get it now? One of those other things that we're going to want to add to that is a transitional call to action. So on our call to action from our brand script, from our brand script episode that we had, the website episode that we just had, we talked that there's 2 different calls to action. There's your direct call to action, which what is the main obvious thing that we want customers to do whenever they land on our website? And then 2, what is the next step that they need to do, or that transitional call to action for the people that aren't ready to buy right now? What can we do to give them a quick win or give them that next step in the process so we can capture their information and follow back up with them when the time is right for them to buy? This episode is all about that transitional call to action. So on that, some people also may call it a lead generator, and you'll see there's a little difference between a transitional call to action and a lead generator based upon the examples and everything that we create today. But your website must have one of these. And I will tell you, if your website doesn't have one of these, you are missing out on a tremendous amount of leads. Whenever I go through this process, or honestly, any type of marketing consulting with any client that I work with or potential client when they reach out, I always say this lovingly, that you are not that special. And what I mean by that is how you operate, surf the web, buy things, interact with companies is very similar to how your potential customers are going to do things. So think about how oftentimes you go to a website that you're not ready to make a purchase decision, right? But if they have something of value there that will keep you on the site a little bit longer, and it will most likely, if it's good enough, it's going to get you to want to enter your email, your phone number, so that way you get something of value. But on the back end, the business knows that they're going to be following up with you if they're doing it right. And we're going to talk about that here in just a second. So the point of the lead generator is to guide potential customers through the continued stages of the relationship building process with you. Remember, whenever people first come there, they're not ready to buy. And so we want to make sure that we have that thing to stay in touch with them. So whenever they are ready, we stay on top of mind for them for those purchase decisions. Your lead generator needs to do 4 things. And this is the thing with this lead generator concept. It needs to do these 4 things. And the last one is the transitional call to action. So this is what it needs to do. Number 1, your lead generator must position you as the guide. We talked about the whole guide process in our brand scripting episode. We also talked about having the guide section on your homepage of your website, and it needs to position you as a guide. Remember, we are not trying to be the hero for our customers. They are the hero to the story. We're trying to position ourselves and our business as the guide to get our customers from where they're at, dealing with the problem that they're dealing with, to where they want to be, to that happily ever after. And so we want to position ourselves as the guide, the expert, to be able to take them from where they are to where they want to be. The second thing that your lead generator needs to do is it needs to qualify your audience. If your business does a bunch of different things and your customer is dealing with a bunch of different problems, we want to make sure that our lead generator that we are putting out there, that it helps to qualify your audience. An example of that would be is if you are looking for first-time home buyers, but you're a real estate agent, but you're going to create some type of a guide of how to remodel, your current home. Well, yeah, that doesn't really connect. It's not going to qualify the type of buyers that you're going to want to work with. So with that, we want to position ourselves as the guide. The second thing is we want to qualify our audience. And number 3 is we want to create and build trust with people by either solving a problem for them or getting them that next or first step to solve the problem in a way that is worth the value of their email address, or if you are so bold, their phone number to follow up with a text automation or phone call from them. With that, we want to make sure that we are not putting out just junk. I'm going to tell you guys this right here is the biggest mistake. I see two big mistakes with the transitional call to action lead generators from small businesses. And it's this. Number one is just not having one. Or the second one is sign up for my newsletter. Nobody wants to sign up for your newsletter. Your mom doesn't even want to sign up for your newsletter. She did it because she's trying to be nice to you, but nobody wants to sign up for a newsletter. Again, remember, you're not that special. How often do you go to a website for a small business that you're looking to maybe work with or solve a problem, and you're like, man, I need another newsletter in my inbox because my spam's not full enough as it is? Nobody. So don't make your transitional call to action or think that you have one because you have a pop-up that says, sign up for my newsletter. Because nobody wants to do that except for your mom, and she's just trying to support your business. So we want to make sure that it builds trust by solving a problem. Now, with this, a caution with this is we don't want to solve all the problems for free. Example, if you were a nutritionist, you wouldn't want to give away a full meal plan as part of a lead generator, because then what are they hiring you for? I saw this a lot. I told you guys I was in the fitness industry for a long time, and I saw lead generators work poorly in fitness, where people were trying to sell one-on-one, like high ticket priced custom personal training, and they were giving away like sample month-long programs. And I was like, well, guys, why? Like, the average consumer is probably going to be cool with repeating a full month program several times. And now it's going to be really difficult in the consumer's mind to think about how this free program versus the one you want to charge several $100s a month for, that value difference in their head is not going to be because you're giving them better workouts all of a sudden. So we want to make sure that as we're solving problems, we don't want to solve the whole thing. We kind of want to give them the next step for that whole process. And now the fourth thing that your lead generator should do is it should have a catchy but clear title. We talked about that with our brand script. We don't want to be cute and clever. Clarity always wins. And with our lead generator, we want to have a catchy yet clear title. We don't want it to be confusing as what that is for our lead generator. And like I said, on step 4, that fourth thing that you need, that will be then the call to action for your transitional call to action. So it'll be download our XYZ guide, or whatever the name of the catchy but clear title is. It will be download, subscribe, start, whatever the thing is. I'm going to show you a couple of different examples for that. So as you have this lead generator, guys, what it is and why you need it is, like I said, it helps to build credibility and trust as an expert, and it helps to set you apart. If you look at your competition, most of them are making those two mistakes. 1, they don't have anything, or 2, they're asking people to download their newsletter, subscribe to their newsletter. People don't want to do that. Our goal with building out this marketing funnel, and our honestly whole philosophy at Sean Garner Consulting and Marketing Domination, is to dominate. So we want to be the industry leaders. We want to do the things that our competition either can't or are unwilling to do, so that we do separate ourselves and stand apart. So just because your competition isn't doing it doesn't mean that you shouldn't. Again, if anything, that means that there's a huge window of opportunity that you should be taking action on and seizing. The next thing that it does is it could even create another revenue stream for your business. So with these transitional calls to action, this can also be a really good way to do a sample test of a much bigger product. So more specifically, like an information product. So if your business was in, let's say, the financial sector, you could do some type of free guide that shows somebody the first couple of steps. And if it is very successful, has a really cool, catchy title, you could then take that guide, expand it out into a course that you could eventually sell. So the lead generators and transitional calls to action, I like them also because I use them as tests for content ideas, and then for also future products for expanding my services that I offer. It's a really inexpensive way to test something before you put a lot of money behind creating a whole new product line for your business. The other thing that they can do is it helps to speed up the sales cycle process. Depending on the type of niche that you're in, if you're a local service-based business like, a plumber or electrician or something like that, you're going to have a pretty short sales cycle. But if you're selling something that is a much larger ticket price, what this can do is that can speed people through the decision-making and relationship building process a little bit quicker by doing the things that we talked about, by establishing you as the perfect guide, building the trust, and helping them to solve those problems. Another thing that it helps to do is it helps to better leverage your time. Building this marketing funnel out does take time. The biggest time suck, though, to your marketing is getting people to actually go through your marketing funnel. And if you have built this awesome website and you are only using it to make only allowing customers to go there and make a purchase decision, you're missing out on a huge percentage of people that are not ready to buy at that time. So if we want to make sure that we're maximizing and leveraging our time, if you're spending all of this time, effort, energy, and finances creating content, doing paid ads, running SEO campaigns, we want to make sure that we don't have any holes in our bucket. And having a lead generator on your website is a great way to make sure that we're plugging up another hole in our bucket. So as we're filling it with potential leads and customers, that they're not just pouring out the bottom. So we know we need to have one. We know how it's going to help us and a few things that it needs to do. Now let's talk about the different types of lead generators that you can create. And there's honestly, it's up to your imagination. I'm going to share with you some ones that I have seen work really well. I'm going to show you some specific examples on websites. So if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or anything, we got the video on Spotify and on YouTube. So you can go on and look at the screen shares that we're getting ready to do. But we want to make sure that you at least have one of these. So I'm going to show you some examples, give you my recommendation for getting started, and give you some step-by-step things of how you could create one of these today if you wanted to block out about an hour of your time and knock this thing out. Here we go. All right, so the very first one of types of lead generators to create is an ebook. This is where you could teach on a specific topic and give somebody those steps of things to do, and it showcases you as the great guide for them. You're going to, on this ebook, it could teach on a certain topic that's related to your niche, and again, position you as a good guide. Second one that I see work really well, and I know that this is typically one of the ones that I get into and sucks me in from my email address, is some type of hack, tip, or checklist guide. Those are really, really simple and probably the easiest ones to create, because you can think of right now, whatever your industry is, you could probably think of 5 to 10 common mistakes people are making, or 5 to 10 things that they need to do before they do the next step in whatever it is your product or service is. And you could crank that thing out really, really quick. And that is the type of stuff that people, at least for me, that suck me in. I'm like, oh, what mistakes am I making? Or what are we are in the process of selling our home. What are the 5 things I need to do before I list my home? Or, what are the 10 things I need to do to make sure that I am saving on taxes this year? Those types of little checklist items work very, very well, and they're super simple to create. Third one is some type of audio or video course kind of webinar. This mini course type concept, I think, works extremely well, but it is one of the most time consuming and difficult ones to create, because for one, you've got to take the time to map out all of the content. You got to record it, whether it be audio, video, or both. Then you got to take that, you've got to upload it in some type of hosting platform or something to be able to deliver that to them. And it's just a lot of work. The flip side is on that, if you are selling a much higher ticket product, I do see a ton of value in investing in this, but I wouldn't make this be the first lead generator that you do. What I would do is create some type of ebook or a hack tip checklist guide and do a couple of those and see which ones really convert the best. Then I would take that and I would turn that into a mini course instead of just going out and creating the whole mini course. One of the great things about, side note here, one of the things that I like a lot about social media is it gives you an opportunity to split test things really quickly. You can test these things before you even create them. So you could easily go to your social media profiles and you could say, hey guys, I'm creating, I want you guys to vote. I'm going to be creating 2 new guides for whatever industry. Here's the titles. Which one do you want to come out first? Whichever one, you can use that as a great way to split test titles on things and topics before you even spend all the time, effort, and energy creating things. I see a big mistake, just especially in the info information business and coming up with new product lines and everything with even just local service businesses, a mistake that people create things before they have the audience or the demand for the thing. And I like the idea of getting the need for the thing before I create the thing. So throw it out there on social media, your email list, your customer list, let them give you some feedback on the one they want first, and you can use that to kind of shape which direction you should go with these. Then the next one, another great one to create is some type of a workbook. So this could be, for example, if you're a nutritionist, this could be like how to build a healthy kitchen pantry, or some type of a workbook that you could give somebody. If you, again, going back to the home example, because I'm just thinking selfishly on the things that I would have loved to have, some type of workbook on how to prepare your home for its first showing or for an open house, some type of a workbook like that would be really great. Another one would be a reference guide. So this could be where you are curating or sourcing information for people, and you're putting it together in a curated list as this reference guide. This could be, top recipes. This could be top, I know for me, it's like top marketing articles. I don't have to search the web for everything. There's one that I subscribed to that was like the top marketing articles of 2024, just to help keep me up to date. And they didn't necessarily, on these lists for the recipes and the marketing guides, they didn't create that information, they curated that information. So if in your industry there's a way to curate information for a guide, some type of a reference, that is a great way to quickly, again, generate out a lead generator for your potential customers. It could be 5 YouTube videos that every solopreneur must watch. It could be the 3 books that you need to read if you're looking to, lose 50 pounds and all that stuff. And you could then, side note on that, if that was an idea for you, like 3 books or something like that, then you can go to Amazon, get an affiliate link, embed those affiliate links inside the PDF. So then whenever they're giving out the guide, it's a free guide, then you can make money on the back end through affiliate links by kind of sourcing that. I do know a fitness person that did that very well and successfully. And what they did is they got like their favorite supplements and they just created an Amazon storefront. They were using that as a free lead generator guide, and they had their affiliate links inside of the lead generator. They used the lead generator to promote out to their audience. Their audience would download the lead generator. Then they would buy things through affiliate links that were inside the free guide. They used that money and revenue they were creating to then do paid ads on the lead generator to just exponentially grow for getting out a lot of leads. Super smart idea if there's an opportunity for you to do something like that. 2 more that I really like that I've seen work really well is, one is a quiz. Quizzes are awesome, especially for particular types of industries and everything. But I will say, again, they're a little bit more time consuming and difficult to create. Typically how quizzes work is, I'm going to show you guys how to do the magic trick. Most of the quizzes are fake. How they work is you might have a list on it. There's tons of quiz builders and tools that you can use to build a quiz, embed it in your website. But typically what there is there's a trigger question in there that dictates the outputs. You can make quizzes extremely complicated and very, detailed on the results, but typically there's just 1 or 2 trigger questions that dictate the output that comes out at the end. So if you're thinking about like, how would I even create this? There's tons of softwares that help you with do that. Most of the biggest reason with quizzes is like the first 2 or 3 questions is capturing information about your customer. Then the last, 5 to 7 questions or whatever is just going to be, again, kind of helping them navigate the problems that they're dealing with. And then at the end, it's going to create some type of an output for them as far as what they're, helping them to identify whatever the solution was or anything like that. And there's typically just 1 or 2 questions that, based upon how they answer that in the quiz, is what dictates the response that it spits out at the end. So quizzes are really cool. They do take more time to create because you do have to think about all of those different variables and the different ending outputs that you're going to send to them afterwards, but a really cool tool. I'm going to show you an example of one here in just a little bit that's been very, very successful. And then the last type of a lead generator / transitional call to action, this would be my lowest priority, but it's better than nothing. And it's more specifically only for businesses that I would say have an extremely short sales cycle. Like I'm looking for it right now, or an e-commerce business. And that would be just making sure you have some type of a pop-up discount code. So, hey, enter your email address for 10% off your first order, especially if it's like an e-commerce brand, like you're selling t-shirts or hats or something. It'd be kind of difficult to come up with really unique, creative ways to create lead generators. That's like an information product that would be relevant to people that are just going to your website to buy a shirt. It can happen, but I would feel pretty confident that the discount code is going to work a lot better for you to be able to capture that information so you can follow up with it. Remember, the whole point of these lead generators is to create an avenue for customers that aren't ready to buy from you to you be able to capture their information and know who's coming to your website, and you have an opportunity then to follow up with them on the back end. A few things to think about whenever you're getting started with your lead generator. Number one, keep it simple. Right now, if you have nothing, done is better than perfect. Get something out there so you can start testing things. You can start creating value, positioning yourself as an expert, and helping your potential customers solve that first problem and start to build trust with them. The second thing is, don't overwork it or make it feel like it has to be perfect. Again, we do always want to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward in front of our customers. We want to add tons of value to them, but don't worry about trying to make every little detail perfect. The goal of this is to add value and to capture the lead. And we don't want to spend all the time creating the thing that is just a free product or a guide that we're trying to give out to customers. I see so many people spend months creating a lead generator when in all reality, these things should be able to be cranked out pretty quickly, because with these, side note, you want to create a lot of them and often. I typically tell my clients, I would like you to test one. There's some metrics that I like to do. So me personally, I would like to release one at least every 6 months. In a perfect world, we would be dropping one every 3 months, but it's more so, it's less on the time component, but more on the amount of traffic that I have seen go through it. So after I've had, several thousands or tens of thousands of hits or page views on something, then I'm going to want to test something out there in front of it. But if your website as it is doesn't get a ton of traffic, there's no point in changing just for changing's sake. If anything, what I would do is the social media strategy that I said before, where we test the idea of the topics on social before you go out and create and then change the one on your website. Don't change things just to change things. Make sure you get data behind it to support it, so that way you can see if the tweak's even beneficial to what you're doing. The next one, the third one, is don't worry about being super wildly original with this. Most of your competition probably doesn't have it, but if you look at like the top industry leader dominators now, all of them are going to have some type of a lead generator guide on their website. Don't worry about thinking like, oh my, they're doing a 10, tax saving, 10 tips to save money on your business taxes guide, so I shouldn't do one. Chances are, if they're especially a huge industry leader, like big name player in your industry, they've already tested it for you. So look at what's on their website, and then also things that you would click and download and give your information for, and use that as a starting point to get it all started. The other thing is, guys, tips, guides, resource materials are always simple, great ways to get started. And remember, the whole point of all of this, always, always, always seek to add more value to your clients' lives with this. So with this right here, I want to show you guys just a few quick examples of some websites and some lead generators that we've seen work really good, and some examples that you can create. So step one is, hey, we got this right here. I'm going to show you some pros and cons of some things that I've seen work really well. So this is obviously our website. We have 2 lead generators that we actively run on our website right now. Number one is we have our free marketing assessment. This is where I talked about the point earlier of don't try to make it perfect, just get it out here. This is what's crazy to me. So on our website, we have the free marketing report, free marketing assessment right here. They go here. If you guys haven't, by the way, go to the website. It's seangarner.co/marketing report and take this free marketing assessment. This is where you can overthink everything. So this output, the deliverable that you get for free from this, is amazing. What happens is you go here and you take about like a 5 to 7 minute marketing assessment, and ask you tons of questions about your marketing, your business, things that you have in process. And then it generates, this was extremely difficult to set up, and this is done through our partnership of StoryBrand. After you create it, it gives you like a 50-page custom marketing report to you that shows you, based upon how you answer that, the step-by-step process you need to build out this whole marketing funnel. It's amazing, but even though it's amazing, this is the lowest converting lead generator that we've ever created. The only reason why we leave it on our website is because it does provide so much value. Whenever somebody wants to book a call with us, this is something, if they haven't done already, I make them go do. And they're like, oh my gosh, that was so amazing. I can't believe you just give that away. Yeah, it's amazing. But for some reason, it just hasn't converted very well. The one that actually does convert really well is this right here. This thing I put together in about an hour, and this converts extremely well. It's our marketing domination checklist, and it's the 7 things that you have to have in your marketing in order to dominate your industry. Converts extremely well, and it was just a simple guide that I created of like the 7 things that I think your marketing needs. If you don't have that, go to the website too, just seangarner.co, and download it as well. This is an example of a quiz from one of the medical practices that we own and work with. So this is something that my wife created. It is a free hormone quiz. Whenever they go there, we've created, this was a lot of work, but it works extremely well. So if you want to put the time and effort, again, this was not her first lead generator. It was a variation of it. And I'm actually going to share, this is the process she used to create it. This is a very complex quiz because you can have a female, a male version, plus all the different questions and variables that are inside of it, because it's talking about hormones. So it was very complicated to set up. How we created this for version 1, because again, don't look at somebody's existing and expect that's how it's going to be. How we created the version 1 of the quiz is initially all this was 2 different PDFs. It was a female PDF and a male PDF. And what would happen is somebody would download the PDF and they would just check the questions. And then based upon how they checked it, they would just kind of self-score it. And that was the quiz. It was just a PDF that you would download, take the quiz at home. Well, then after we tested it, we knew it was working and worth building out. Then we made it an actual quiz on the website so somebody could go through there and click through everything on the quiz. So there's several different ways that you can do that, but don't start with the big end version. That's going to take a lot of time, effort, and energy. Start with the small things so you can split test it before you go out there and create the bigger one. This one I think is actually really cool. So this is one of our clients, Garner. He's a commercial real estate agent in the Oklahoma City area. Well, again, this is where I talked about curating information. The Oklahoma City brokerage that he works for is Price Edwards. What they do is they put out a quarterly market report for the Oklahoma City real estate market for commercial real estate. What he's done on this guide is he has then taken the guide with the permission from the company, and he does like a video review of it, giving his perspective on it with things that he's actually seeing in the market. So not only is it just, hey, here's the guide, but then he created a YouTube video that's unlisted that just gets sent to you after you download the list. So then that way it's him going through the guide, this curated information. He didn't have to create the guide. All he had to do is give his perspective on it of things that he's seeing. Super awesome idea. That was really easy for him to do. It just took about 30 minutes of his time to do a screen recording as he was going through this guide. And then we built out all the back end funnel stuff for him. Another one that works very well in fitness is something like this, some type of a free guide. This is Anna McGee, online fitness coach for women over 50. And it's the Power of Aging Blueprint, 5 simple strategies for women over 50 to live longer, stronger, and happier. And if you guys notice all of these too, they come up as a pop-up. People hate pop-ups, but guess what? Pop-up works. There's tons of pop-up blockers and stuff that are always going on. So not only on do we want to make sure it's a pop-up, but we also want to put it on the footer of every page of our website. So that way, no matter where people are at on the website, this is at the bottom of every single page, and it's attached to the linked footer right down here. A couple of other ones is this is a business assessment. This is from Stag Business Coaching, one of our other clients. They are Business Made Simple certified business coaches. They help a lot with cash flow consulting and everything. And they use it's a 12-minute, very similar to the marketing report. It's a 12-minute assessment. You go through, take it, and it gives you a step-by-step plan that you need to do to maximize cash flow for your business. Awesome guide there. Right here, this is Financial Domination. This is an accounting firm. What they did is they give you the 10 things you can do to make sure that your business is paying less in taxes. Who doesn't want that? Last one right here is another one of our clients, Living Wealth. They sell whole life insurance and help people create something that's called infinite banking. And what they actually do, this is the bigger ask at the end. They've been in business for couple decades and very successful. And what they've done is they actually created this free, amazing course. And you can see it's like a lot of information in the course. They've got 11 episodes inside of here. Each one's about a 45-minute lesson. It is tons of value. This right here took a lot of time to create. They tested it a lot before they created it. And then they also are constantly updating this. But this works very well. If they have somebody actually come to the website, go through here, give their information, start the course, and then go through the entire course, their close rate is ridiculously high. It's something like 90 something percent for people that go through that, because by the time they actually get on a consultation call with these guys, they've listened to them talk about this topic as an expert for hours. They've given them so much value for free. They're obviously ready to give them money. So all of that being said, guys, you need a lead generator on your website. You need that transitional call to action for the people that are not ready to commit to you. And in exchange, you give them this awesome guide. My action step to you would be to go and make this happen. And this is how quickly and easily that you could do it. I would first decide which one of those things that I talked about for the different types of lead generators can you create the quickest. If you have an opportunity like Garner with a commercial real estate agent, to where you've already got a resource guide and you could just do a video recording of you going through it, man, that would be awesome. And you can leverage something like that. What I've seen, the two ones that are the easiest to create would be an ebook and a checklist guide. And this is how I would create the ebook. What I would do is I would go to Zoom, Google Meet, some type of recording software, and I would record myself talking over my topic. I would give up some of my best tips, value, mistakes that I see people make. Then what I would do is I would pull that transcript from that talk that I did, and I would go use it in something like a AI service like ChatGPT, and I would have it take that transcript and create an ebook for me based upon that. Do the exact same thing for a checklist. Come up with like your 10 mistakes people make. Take that information, throw it into a service like ChatGPT if you don't have a copywriter that works for you, and that will help you organize your thoughts. I will say this. Don't use ChatGPT to just create the content for you, because I don't think that it is great at creating. I think that it's really awesome. And we use AI a lot at our agency for not creating, but for organizing. So we will always want to make sure that we are writing the first draft and that we're inputting the right inputs into it. Because if not, it's just going to be pulling information from all over the internet, and it's not going to be unique to you. And that's what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to position you as the right guide for them. Then after you do that, you could go to a service like Upwork, or even if you feel in a little spry yourself, you could use a service like a tool like Canva, and you could take that information from that ebook. They've got tons of templates inside of Canva, and you could easily, quickly create something like this for your website. If that seems too much and too complicated, that's what our agency does. This is a very small step of the entire marketing funnel, and we just do it all for you. So this episode, guys, was all about creating that transitional call to action and that lead generator. The next episode is going to be very, very important, because it's what do you do after you capture the information? It's not enough just to create this lead generator and put it on your website, but the follow-up is the most important step. I'm going to show you the step-by-step email sequence that you should be creating to plug people in after they download your lead generator on the next episode. Have an awesome day, guys. We'll talk soon.